The chaos just erupted in Portland, and wrestling will never be the same again. 2 months of torment. 2 months of Drew McIntyre systematically dismantling every opportunity Cody Rhodes had at reclaiming what was rightfully his. All of it came crashing down in one explosive night that left the WWE Universe absolutely stunned. This is the story of revenge, redemption, and the moment the American Nightmare rose from the ashes to reclaim his throne. Picture this, January 9th, 3 stages of hell. Cody Rhodes stands battered, broken, watching Drew McIntyre escape that steel cage with his championship. The Scottish Warrior didn't just win the title that night, he inserted a poison pill into the contract, a no rematch clause that meant Cody couldn't just walk up and demand his title back. McIntyre thought he was clever, thought he'd outsmarted the American Nightmare. But what Drew didn't count on was his own arrogance becoming his downfall. For 2 months, McIntyre made Cody's life absolute hell. Every time Rhodes clawed his way toward a title opportunity, there was Drew, lurking in the shadows like a predator waiting to strike. Elimination Chamber rolls around, and what does McIntyre do? He costs Cody the match, allowing Randy Orton to hit that venomous RKO and punch his ticket to WrestleMania. The disrespect was palpable, the insult was personal, and SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis had seen enough. Aldis tore up that no rematch clause like it was yesterday's trash and made the announcement that sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. Drew McIntyre would defend the undisputed WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes on Friday Night SmackDown in Portland. The stage was set, the grudge was real, and the entire wrestling world held its breath. When that bell rang in the Moda Center, these two warriors didn't just wrestle, they went to war. McIntyre dragged Cody through the crowd, smashed him against video boards, treated him like a rag doll with those brutal belly-to-belly suplexes. The Scottish psychopath was determined to prove that his title victory wasn't a fluke, that he belonged at the top of the mountain. He hit Rhodes with everything in his arsenal, forearms, ring steps, even a devastating powerbomb through a table that should have ended anyone's night. But here's where the story gets absolutely insane. These two started trading each other's signature moves like they were playing the most intense game of Uno reverse card you've ever seen. McIntyre hit across Rhodes. Cody fired back with a Claymore kick. The crowd was losing their minds because nobody could predict what was coming next. And then the referee situation turned into pure mayhem. Charles Robinson, the veteran official, caught an accidental disaster kick from Cody and went down hard. A second referee, Dan Angler, rushed to the ring to restore order. McIntyre, desperation written all over his face, headbutted the poor official with a Glasgow kiss. 2 referees down. The rulebook had been thrown out the window, and Drew McIntyre, the man who claimed to be the fighting champion, the man who demanded respect, grabbed a steel chair, because deep down he knew he couldn't beat Cody Rhodes straight up. But here's where the wrestling gods intervened. Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf who had his own heated history with McIntyre, appeared out of nowhere and intercepted that steel chair shot.
The irony is absolutely beautiful, because back in January, Fatu's interference actually cost Cody the title. Now, he was evening the score, settling his own grudge with the Scottish Warrior while giving Rhodes a fighting chance. Even after Fatu's intervention, McIntyre kept coming. He hit Cody with a future shock DDT. He lined up for that match-ending Claymore kick that's put away so many legends, but the American Nightmare, running on pure heart and determination, evaded it. What happened next will be replayed for decades. Cody climbed to the top rope, measuring his opponent with surgical precision. A super Cody cutter connected with devastating impact. The crowd erupted. And then, with every ounce of energy left in his body, Cody Rhodes delivered one final crossroads. 1, 2, 3. New champion. The Moda Center exploded with a sound that could probably be heard in Seattle. Pyro filled the arena. Cody Rhodes, the man who finished his story at WrestleMania, the man who defeated Roman Reigns to end the longest title reign in modern WWE history, had just captured the undisputed WWE Championship for the 3rd time in his career. But this one hit different. This wasn't about destiny or finishing a story. This was about pure, unfiltered revenge against a man who made his life miserable for 2 solid months. Drew McIntyre lay in the ring, staring at the lights, probably wondering how it all went so wrong. He had every advantage: the no rematch clause, the interference tactics, even the willingness to use weapons when things got desperate. But in the end, talent and heart trumped dirty tricks every single time. The Scottish Warrior's reign lasted exactly 56 days, and now, instead of headlining WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, he's watching from the sidelines. Because here's the kicker that makes this whole story even more incredible. Randy Orton is waiting. The Viper, the Legend Killer, the man who won the Elimination Chamber and earned his shot at WrestleMania, will now face his former protege, his friend, the man he mentored in Legacy all those years ago. This isn't just a title match. It's a collision of legacy and ambition. Orton made it crystal clear earlier that night that he's not leaving Vegas without championship gold. And the fact that his best friend is holding that title won't stop him from doing whatever it takes. The relationship between Cody and Randy adds layers of emotional complexity that wrestling fans dream about. These aren't just two guys fighting for a belt. This is mentor versus student, legend versus the future, friendship tested by ambition. Orton even planted the seeds earlier in the night when he told Sami Zayn that sometimes you have to be selfish in this business, that being a 14-time world champion requires making hard choices. Will that same philosophy apply when the Viper strikes at the American Nightmare? And let's talk about Sami Zayn for a second, because his frustration is bubbling over in the most compelling way. He watched Cody get a title shot after losing the Elimination Chamber qualifier, meanwhile Sami lost his own qualifier and got nothing. The hypocrisy isn't lost on the underdog from the underground, and you can feel a potential heel turn brewing like a storm on the horizon. Zayn congratulated Cody before the match, but you could sense the resentment underneath.
When he confronted Orton later, questioning how the Viper could RKO his own friend, Randy's response was chilling. Sometimes you gotta be selfish, and that selfishness made him a champion 14 times over. The implications ripple throughout the entire WWE landscape. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre is now inevitable, and that's a collision that promises absolute brutality. McIntyre's redemption arc just hit a massive roadblock, and you know the Scottish Warrior is seething, plotting his next move. Meanwhile, Cody Rhodes stands tall, championship on his shoulder, but he's got a target on his back the size of the Vegas Strip. What makes this title change so significant is the timing. We're less than 2 months away from WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, and the landscape just shifted dramatically. WWE could have kept the belt on McIntyre, could have done a triple threat with Orton, could have gone a million different directions. Instead, they went back to the original plan, the dream match between Cody and Randy, two men whose history together could fill a documentary. Think about the story they can tell. Cody and Randy in Legacy, the betrayal, the years apart, Randy's legendary career, Cody's journey through independent wrestling in AEW before returning to WWE. Now they meet at the pinnacle, at WrestleMania, for the most prestigious championship in professional wrestling. This is the kind of storytelling that makes wrestling beautiful. So, if you're a fan of the American Nightmare, savor this moment because the road ahead is going to be absolutely brutal. If you're a Drew McIntyre supporter, trust that the Scottish Warrior isn't done, not by a long shot. And if you're just a wrestling fan who loves incredible stories, strap in because the road to WrestleMania 40 just got infinitely more interesting. Before you go, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because we're going to be covering every twist, every turn, every RKO out of nowhere as we count down to Vegas. Drop a comment and tell me who you think walks out of WrestleMania as champion, Cody or Randy, because this debate is going to rage for the next 2 months. Share this video with your wrestling friends because they need to know what went down in Portland. The American Nightmare is back on top. But in WWE, staying on top is always harder than getting there. Welcome to the road to WrestleMania. It's going to be one hell of a ride.